Hey guys, Luma here. Take a look at this tiny little thing. I played around a little bit with the new Prehistoric Planet Pack DLC after a video that I watched from Basebart, here on the screen right now. The video was about how you can produce plastic by having the Lura plants eat any flying critter, like this beetle here, and then have it produce a maximum of 22 kg of amber per cycle. The amber can then be used, either be melted or crushed in the plant pulverizer to give you resin. And the resin can then be used itself and either be heated up into steam and refined carbon, or what is more useful, be put in a polymer press and be used to create plastics. So today I was busy designing a few setups because Ulsen from the Discord server told me, how about beeters? Why not use a few beeters for the Lura plants instead of the new knit critters? The answer for that is technically pretty simple because, damn it game, you need different temperatures for the beeters and for the plants. While the plants can only survive up at 10 degrees to 55 degrees Celsius, a Beetiny, a Beeta and a beehive normally need a living range from -100 up to 10. So even if you have 10 as a perfect temperature, they would probably be dying in a few seconds. And the plants will not grow if you're under 10. And if you are over 10, the Beetinys will die. So the solution for that is just don't use any oxygen or air. Here's gas. So we have a vacuum right here and we have only gas where the plants are. Meaning when the critter fly in there to die, they will start dying because of the temperatures. So either they are eaten or they will die because of the temperatures. Whatever is quicker. And the Beetinys down here just do not care. So before I go over a few setups that I have right here, let me show you how a Beeta hive is created in the first place. You go catch yourself a Beetiny, I will spawn one in and drop it in a room that is at least 6 tiles. And it has to be 2 times 3 tiles high, because that is the size of a Beeta hive. And once the nighttime falls and the Beetiny has enough space to move in and the temperature range that it likes, for example, a vacuum, then a Beeta hive is created, as you can see here. Again, as soon as nighttime falls. 2 or 3 cycles later it will look like this, and each cycle it will create a new Beetiny. A Beetiny can grow up to 2 cycles of age and then it will turn into a Beeta. That's the flying critters right here. And a Beeta can be eaten by the Lura plants. So basically what we are putting in is nothing, and what we're getting out is a fed Lura plant creating amber, and the amber can be turned into plastic. So basically free plastic, except for the energy that you need to collect it. You can either use a sweepy in combination with some auto sweepers and a conveyor loader system to transport it somewhere, or you can use the new Flydo critter, or you can use some duplicants. But if you use duplicants, then place a door here in this spot and deactivate the access for all of them. But leave it open. That's important. What the system gives you is solid nuclear waste, amber, here's the solid nuclear waste, Lura seeds, and cooling power. As you can see, each and every one of these Beetinys is at technically -25 degrees Celsius. What this system gives you as well is cooling power. As you can see, I need to put in a little bit of heat to keep all of these plants alive and in their livable range. But what that means is that you can have a water loop run through this, for example, warm water from your base, and this setup will cool your base with this. For now I have set this to, if the air is below 12 degrees Celsius, turn this thing on, or if the liquid that flows right through this, then also turn the space heater on. And the cooling loop, as you can see, has some radiant pipes right over this part and right over the heat producing machinery. Okay, that's the rough draft. Now let me explain you how this works. Beeters can reach an age up to 5. So this beeter has 5 cycles worth of time to either be eaten or die of the temperatures. But only die of the temperatures if it is here in the hydrogen gas or oxygen or whatever gas you want to put in that the Lura plant can survive in. Which is, let's check this, basically anything. Yeah. Okay, so I started with this system, and the main part of this system is first the tower and second the planting area. Let us start with the tower. You grab a Beetiny, throw it in here, you deactivate the switch and wait for a Beeta hive to arrive, and once that happens you wait for it to grow up, and then once it's grown, each cycle it will spawn a Beetiny. That should happen right at dawn, so let's see if that happens. Once the Beetiny is spawned, you activate the switch. You only have to do this once. Let this deactivate it, until you have a Beeta hive in all of the areas that you want one. Then turn it green when this is green. And we do have at least more than 0 critters or eggs, doesn't matter. Just, you don't even have to set this to anything. Just leave it like it is. It is connected via an AND gate. So if this is green and this is green, then the door is allowed to open. So there's a Beetiny, this is green, Beetiny goes in there, door closes. We can follow the Beetiny, make this slower. The Beetiny will drop down and land down here, which is the next area. Blocked off via crude oil, which is important. Use a liquid that is denser than nuclear waste. Why? Because of this. Naphtha, liquid nuclear waste, crude oil, gunk. So either use the liquid nuclear waste, but I wouldn't recommend that, crude oil or gunk. With this, you can block off the gas that you need for the plants to grow. And you allow the Beetinies to drop down here and not suffocate. How are we doing that? By not having this tile here, as you can see, a full tile. Either mop this up or put a mesh tile down here. Once you have the Beetinies developed to beaters, they will just fly out of there. The liquid is no hindrance to them. And this area here just consists out of a lot of farm tiles, one sweepy dog per story, and an auto sweeper that can reach the down left tile of the sweepy dog. So we have to use 2 of them, sadly, and also 2 conveyor loaders in this setup. You could also place it further away, then it can reach more, but this uses up more space. And it's different for the right and for the left side, which you can see later on in a different design. The Beeta hive system is just the same all the way up. This is the easiest thing that I could come up with. This has been stable. There has been no issues if you make the liquid correct here. What do I mean with correct? I mean, you have heavy liquid, dense liquid in the corners right here and a mesh tile in the middle. It could happen that some nuclear waste is created here, some liquid nuclear waste, but as long as it doesn't drown them, turn solid, or get any of the hydrogen gas in there, it's no issue. And as you can see, about half of them are always filled. Which is around 17 plus 11 plus 15, which is quite a lot. And as soon as these develop, they could even fill a few more. I had all of these filled at some time, but that's more or less random. So next idea was putting them on both sides, but this system has a few issues and the liquid lock breaks. So would not recommend it. Let's go to the next one. I made the drop system more effective. I put a Beeta hive to the left and to the right side. I moved the critter sensor to the top right corner. You do need 2 doors here. It's not enough to have a single door here that is horizontal, because then you only can have 1 Beeta hive. And also I removed both of these doors and had a different spawning setup, but the beeters spawned on top of this door, which was annoying. So you do need a lot of doors for this setup. And I didn't even put in any AND gates for this. I just placed in a beeta, wait until they grow up, and then I set the critter sensor to count the critters and eggs instead of having the automation with the switch. Critters will drop down, will be collected down here. I even placed a robo miner here in case some solid debris forms in this left corner. The temperature is very cold, as you can see. I have some optimization for that in the next setup. And as you can see here, the left side is a vacuum and the right side is hydrogen gas. Everything held back by these tiles of crude oil. The sweepies are collecting the dropped amber. The auto sweepers are collecting the amber from the sweepy dogs, dropping them in the conveyor loader, and the conveyor loader is dropping them off here in the top right corner. We do have more than 110 tons, and this has been running 92 cycles. But this was also just a temporary solution, so let's go to the final one. Here you have the final version for now. You can see the dropper system from the version that I've shown you just now. Same thing, just 2 sensors connected to this door, meaning it's more or less random when the critter drops, but there have been no issues at all in the last 84 cycles. And once we have a Beetiny in here, or 2, it will wander around. When it reaches the door, will be dropped. And we collect it down here. We are holding back the gases with the liquid that you've just seen. The doors are holding back any potential duplicants that you will be letting into the room if you want to. You can change out the hydrogen for oxygen and replace all of the sweepy dogs with just a few duplicants that take up the labor, so you have less energy consumption. But you can also use a few fly doors, or you can use the sweepies, or you make it larger and use more auto sweepers, however you like. You just place down a few farm tiles, Lura plants inside of them, and for this system, a liquid loop, not a cooling loop, just a liquid loop. This here is the heating system for the whole thing, but you can also just hook it up to your base in case your base is too warm and have all of the little Beetinys cool down the loop of your base. Keep the plants in a range of 10 degrees Celsius to 50 or 55 degrees Celsius? 55 degrees Celsius. So this is my favorite setup of this for now. And let me tell you how many resources we collected. Let's just grab off all of these and put them together. Not you. 169.2 tons of amber, 619 kilograms of solid nuclear waste, and 58 Lura seeds. We have done that in 85 cycles. I have done the math a few cycles ago, so let me just check and tell you. At cycle 70 I already collected the data and we picked up 546 kilograms of nuclear waste, 48 Lura plant seeds and 107.7 tons of amber, and did not pick up 1 Lura plant seed and 36.1 tons of amber, which equals to resources per cycle: 7.8 kilograms of nuclear waste, 0.68 Lura plant seeds, and 1538.5 kilograms of amber, which could be used, let's just check this, amber to resin, which is around half of it. So if we produce 1538 kilograms of amber per cycle and we can only use half of it and need 500 kilograms of that to produce 300 kilograms of plastic, then we get 461 kilograms of plastic per cycle. Well, there you have it, the tiny PB amber plastic production system. You just gotta add the plastic part yourself. I just wanted to share my temporary design with you before I put it on the main channel, maybe with a more cleaned up video and more information and more overlays. But that's it for now. Love you guys, and Luma out. Also be ready for my Lura Plant and Knit version.